Earthen Elegance suite, which is in the catalogue on page 70. Just a little tag here, 70 and 71. Lovely, lovely set. Suite, I should say. Lovely suite. And full of gorgeous earthy colours and texture, and yeah, just really, really amazing if you like all that sort of earthy look, which I do. And just to show you, put that somewhere where it's not going to get in the way. This is the stamp set with the size of the stamps. Yeah, some gorgeous images here, and as I say, quite a lot of texture. Get that out of the light so you can see it. And this is the paper. So I've been using it. I want to show you today how to use some of this paper for your work, for die cutting and using it as the elements on your card. So you can see I have used quite a bit of it already. So this is great. This is, and you're going to see we're going to use some of this for the pot. So it looks as though it's actually just been made and has the, you know, like the running down of the terracotta pot. And let's see, I think some of these ones are better to show you because they are whole still. So we have the wood grain, which I love using. Okay, there's two of that one. And then on the other side, so you get 2 sheets of each, and this is Misty Moonlight and Pretty Peacock, and this is the Moody Mauve. And these are just all beautiful together. Just love them. Okay. So I have cut, we're going to use, this is grey granite, which is, if I get the back here, I always like to look, and I always sort of go over this. If you look on the back of your card base in your designer series paper kit, it has a list of the colours that are used in the kit. So copper clay, grey granite, misty moonlight, moody mauve, pebble path, pecan pie, and pretty peacock. So very handy when you're wanting to coordinate things. So I have used grey granite as the card base, and I have got a copper clay mat. So what we're going to do with that is we are going to, I'll just get a bit of scrap here to use. I'm just going to get my Whisper White ink pad, which you'll be able to see is actually been used a bit for this sort of thing. And I'm just going to run this lightly. Now this is the exposed brick, it's new, the exposed brick embossing folder. So love this sort of textured look as well, and I think it goes really, really well with this suite. I'm just doing the edges really, don't need to do the middle. So that really makes those embossed images pop up. Then I'm going to get my copper clay, and I'm just going to do the edges. So it's all about these. Now your new ink pads are very juicy, so just be very careful about tapping off the colour first before you come on, as you're going to get lots of blotches, which you don't want. And this just adds real depth and interest to this. Of course you can, this is how, you know, I'm sharing, but you can always just leave it plain if you don't like this sort of thing. And so I'm just using the same colour as the card. Okay, so set that to one side while we've got this out here. Now I've got a piece of, where did I put it? There it is, piece of Very Vanilla. So I just thought I'd use Very Vanilla, though we are going to cover it up, and I'm going to use the copper clay to add around the edge. So always ink up your brush in one direction, and then tap off the excess and come on in circular action. Just adds to giving you a, now I'm using the mini brushes, which I quite like. They give you quite a bit more control on a smaller piece of card or whatever you're using it on. Okay, so next, I'll leave that out actually, I'm going to use the Pretty Peacock, and once again this will be juicy, so I'm just going to get off the excess. Now I'm just going to come on very lightly because I can't come on from the edge. That's why it was really important to get off any excess before you came onto the page. Not that I'm that worried about it being too not blotchy, but too patterned, if you know what I mean, because that is the sort of look of this whole suite. So it doesn't matter if it's got a little bit of texture on it. And I'm then going to come in with Misty Moonlight. So just going to run that down the middle. Hope you're not getting seasick watching this. Okay, so now I'm going to come back in with the copper clay just to even up those edges. Okay. So it doesn't matter that it's uneven. Go. Oops. Right. So that's the blending. Pop those to one side. Okay. So we've got the card base. Now we're going to pop that on. And I have got a Pretty Peacock. Now, I'm not going to put that on yet because I'm going to put this on first. Around that now, I think. Okay. Now on the back, I'm just going to use the Stamp and Seal here. Oh. Get going. And the beautiful twine, it's not twine, it's sort of like rope, wavy trim it's called. Really, really like this. I like these sort of natural sort of coloured twines and things. I use them quite a bit my favourite of all time, of course, is the linen thread. No, wrong scissors. It's the linen thread, and I use that a lot. Okay. It's going to go there. And then dimensionals. So when I pop anything on that has something lumpy behind it, like this definitely is quite bulky, it's always good to use, and generally with ribbon I will use dimensionals to try and keep it flat, not with a big bump in it. Okay. Come on, guys, let's get these off. Oops. It's always a good idea to give them a press down before you take the back off. Okay. Pop that on there. Now, I want to show you a little trick to use. If you have, we're going to do it twice. If you have a stamp that, let's turn it over, that you want two colours on, which I wanted the stalk one colour and obviously the bushy part of this image a different colour. These Stampin' Rights are just perfect for that, and the new Stampin' Rights have a fantastic new skinny nib, so good, much improved, and I think the brush end is improved as well, but I love using the brush end for this sort of thing. So I am just colouring the stalks with grey granite, and then I'm going to use copper clay, and I'm going to do the sort of a bit like toy, but not sure what its proper name is. Okay, so then you give it a huff and stamp, and there you have beautiful textured look with the stalks a different colour. So I'll just do that again because I'm going to do it on the inside. Colour the stalk. And the feathery part. Huff on it. There we go. Beautiful. And that is for the inside of the card. Let's just pop that in now. Right, let's finish the rest of this. So what I've also done, I have used this designer series paper piece here and cut this gorgeous palm, and when you cut it out, the die has got folds down each leaf, so I've just gone and given them all a fold, and that really gives that movement in that. And I love using this designer series paper because I don't know if you can see that there, it's got texture on the paper, so that really adds something to that already. And then I used this paper, where is it, here, for the pot. So I have just used copper clay and picked where I wanted to stamp the pot, stamped it and then die cut. So you have that colour graduation on there. And one little tip about the dies, they are created to be a bit smaller than the stamp. So makes sure that you don't have that edge, and that is intentional. So you can see that's just on the inside there. So when you die cut it, you're not getting an edge. So that's it, die cut there. So I think that's great, actually. Really like that little extra that they've done. And this is the die cut stamp that we did. This is using that DSP that I was talking about. That makes that look like a fired pot. And then I've got some other bits and pieces that I have used from the dies. So these are the dies. You have that leaf with the split down the middle, and for the pots, etc., and for the leaves and the palms, and this is, it cuts out for texture as well. This is like an embossing strip, so it doesn't cut, it's just like embossing. So really good to add texture to any part of your project. Okay, so I have die cut these. This is for the top of this pot, like so. So I'm going to add just a little bit of glue on there and add that to the top. Like so. I'll bring it down a bit actually. There we go. Okay, so I have used the Designer Series paper with the Misty Moonlight, and for these little extra sticks as well. So I've also stamped the thank you from the stamp set, and I have used from this gorgeously made dies, the die to cut out sentiments there, which I really like, this sort of torn edge look. So I thought that was perfect for that. Okay, so we might give that a bit of a blend as well. So we're going to pop all this together. Let's use dimensionals to put this on. And I want to try and keep the center free, because I'm going to obviously tuck things down it. So yeah, don't think that center is going to be that good, but that's all right. I can trim the okay. One's going to go there, and then this one is going to go here. Same thing. Okay. Probably should have put all these on ahead of time, but it's all right. Just got a little bit of okay. Excellent. So let's going to have to chop that down a bit. So put that about there. So I need to take that down too. So I'm just going to add some glue on the stalk and down the middle so that it keeps the movement still on this palm. Right. So I am going to put this up on dimensionals. Oops. But first I'm going to sort out where I want to put these. So that could go there. Okay. So using your designer series paper for all this is certainly making the most of every bit that you have. I'm sort of doing a series at the moment of using your scraps, maximizing every piece of paper that you have. So all these, often these little bits here could be cut out of little leftover pieces that you have. And oops. Okay. I like dimensionals. I'm not a sparse. Some people cut theirs in half and use them sparingly. I'm a generous dimensional user. Okay. Sure. There we go. And might just add a bit of maybe blue, I think. A bit of blue to the edge of this one. So I haven't re-inked the brush just so that it's very delicate, the colour that's going on, because there's enough left. There's enough left on the brush. And I'm not going to, I think I'll just glue that down because it gets quite high by the time you've got dimensionals on there, dimensionals on here. But I think I will just put one on the end. Actually, I probably need two. So double dimensional, you just take backing off one and add another one, and then you get twice the height. Okay. And lastly, I just grab the embellishments. Just pop this to one side. The embellishments, I thought these would be quite good. The brushed, don't want anything too shiny, obviously. I think these brass ones would go really, really nice. And brushed metallic. So, put one there. So always used odd numbers, it's more appealing to the eye. And try and form a triangle and use them around what you're wanting to focus on, and I think the sentiment is pretty cool. And there you have a card packed full of texture and gorgeousness using the Earthen Elegance suite. So hope that inspires you if you've got that suite or looking at getting it, and yeah, just love it. So much layering and texture, as I say, with this card, which is fabulous. So I hope you enjoyed that, and take care. Bye.